Hello, it's getting Renee Miller back again.
So we'll try this again.
Second try.
This is the second time we've done this.
Technical issues.
This is on chapter 4, pages 88 or 84 through 88.
We're trying to wrap up chapter 4 here, and we're going to bring some of those ideas together and kind of
Even the book.
Yeah, kind of connect the dots. And this is, again, lessons that are found in the Augmentation of Man, a study in Renaissance.
So we're going to continue the higher communication process is being constructed. And actually our souls are on a vibrational journey.
So what does that mean?
We're on a journey of learning and understanding and being raised to a higher level of vibration in tune with the earth vibration.
And so our souls are superimposed in this material world, so to speak. It's vibration. The atoms are all made up of vibration.
Everything vibrates.
Everything vibrates. At its smallest
gases.
The smallest speck of an atom is vibration. So, in that, everything within our field is vibration, and it's just a condensation of that vibration that makes up the atoms that make up the gases, and those compressed gases make the matter.
Provides a learning experience.
And it's all about providing us a learning experience or a learning field. So within that field, then there are other dimensions, and we are at the learning level of living in a third dimensional world and working on the fourth dimension in our dreams and meditations.
Well, there's a life force of all things, and basically all that is.
So the life force is created by the Creator and light beings, and it just permeates out in a stream throughout creation that gives life to the living world.
Yeah, but it's specific learning fields that attaches to different dimensions.
So that life force is attuned to certain dimensions. So at our level of understanding as humans, our life force is attached to the third and fourth dimension. And as we progress up in our level of understanding, we progress up in our level of vibration, and then that will qualify us for moving into the next dimension.
Well, we initialize our lessons, and we raise our own vibration if we learn and understand.
That's right. And so it's all about reflection of all the events going on in our lives, personally, locally, regionally, globally, and coming to an understanding of that, and not holding on to it with a sense of victimization, or not holding on to it with anger, but rather coming to some sort of an understanding at a deeper level, and then releasing it so that it does not hold us back from our further growth and development.
Well, vibrational levels separate us. As we learn and understand, we create our own opening for stepping into another dimension. This is not easy. Not everybody can do this, and it takes a lot of times a lifetime to learn how to understand and learn how to learn.
Right, and we can only go into the next higher level for understanding in a brief time frame. So therefore, in the third dimensional world we reside in, we briefly go into the fourth dimension of time, and what we're getting to know at this level is who we are at the soul level. The soul lives at our level, the soul lives in the fourth dimension. So we're really getting to know ourselves and who we are at a higher level and how we fit into the rest of creation.
Well, we try to create a consciousness within ourselves. We like to get into a universal consciousness if we can ever get that high in learning and vibrational level of understanding. But on Earth, we can get on the right path to universal consciousness because there are many things that we don't know as kindergartners that we're trying to learn. And once we get on that consciousness level, it opens a whole new field of understanding.
And so all of creation was designed as a communicating system that ties beings who have greater understanding with beings that have lesser understanding as a teacher-student relationship through the use of these communication networks called source for higher beings with higher and greater understanding and who are able to channel a higher level of energy, and the neuronet, which is designed for beings at our level, which is more of a diffused energy, a simpler explanation of those higher concepts.
Well, we're trying to upgrade our communication system within ourselves and attach to what we call a neuronet path. But our gases in the atmosphere are changing, as we know, and the higher electric discharge is taking place, and that's within the plasmic field. Now, what is plasma?
Plasma is the charged atoms within the gases. So when we're talking about our atmosphere, it's going to be the oxygen, hydrogen, anything that carries a charge. And so as we've been taught by the ancients, this communication network forms these webs, as you might call them, of charged atoms that line up in a string. This, plasma cords, they're charged atoms that form strings that carry the light or the communication energy across those networks, and it's kind of superimposed with nerves that push that communication along. And so
improve communication.
That's all being
physical
upgraded.
Or non-physical entities.
Yeah, so that's all being upgraded through some changes within the gaseous atmosphere around Earth to create a higher electric discharge within those atoms, within the plasma, and to improve our communication system as we enter into this new cycle of learning, which is going to be a higher cycle. So what does that mean? It means we're going to be getting a lot more information, and more people are going to be able to connect into that network as they,
but not everyone,
as they rise in their levels of understanding.
Yeah. So the book talks about the arch of idiatries.
So this is a part of this communication network that belongs with the neuronet. We don't know a whole lot about it, but it's some sort of a communication arch that ties the higher communication and higher energy to the lower energy and simpler
communication purposes.
Yes, it's for communication. It's kind of a transponder of sorts, or maybe not a transponder, but
that's a sender.
What is the
receiver
within the electrical system of our electric grid that diffuses the energy down?
Oh yeah, there are transformers.
Transformer
that diffuses energy down.
So this arch of idiatries, I imagine it to be much like a transformer where it diffuses the energy down and simplifies communication to our level. But even that has not been in use, and that is something that is coming into use now, which is going to further
it's going to affect the pituitary gland when it does.
It's going to further our ability to communicate, which also means the activation of our pituitary gland on a spiritual level. So there's a biological element to the pituitary gland, but there's also a spiritual element to it, and that is in the communication process. Yeah. So why did our pituitary gland stop to work in this way?
People became egotistical, and they went into materialism, which blocks all aspects of learning and communication.
Yeah, so our egos and materialism have distracted us from our true purpose here on Earth, which is all about the learning, and has shut down that communication process.
Down that word movement of learning.
Right.
And growth.
So now, in order to reactivate this pituitary gland and this whole communication system, it takes effort on our part as far as reflecting on past events in our lives, releasing any trauma associated with that, and coming to acceptance.
Requiring recognition of who the self is.
Right, on the soul level. So we have to come to a point of recognizing the soul again and completion of, or near completion of, that fourth dimensional learning, which is about who we are on the soul level and our connection to everything else in creation through the soul, at the soul level.
A new field is being developed then to improve what we've been talking about.
So, so we're talking about an improved neuronet, improved communication system, the opening of this arch of idiatries, which also facilitates the communication process between the higher vibrational teacher and the lower vibrational student, and the communication of higher concepts and understanding at a higher level now, bringing us more into that universal neighborhood of sharing information.
Reflect on a higher reflection on who we are and looking at ourselves, and also understanding and transfer of ideas among the entities throughout the universe, which we know are there.
So, we spent a lot of time on this chapter, and it's about communication and how it works. And some people have asked us, well, why do I need to know this at such an intricate level? And it is because most of us have not been able to engage in this type of communication at the higher level. And so we're coming into a period of time when we're being pushed, humanity is being pushed to a higher level of understanding. We're going to have a lot of changes upon us that are going to facilitate humbleness within humanity and our readiness to accept our soul at a level of reconnection with the soul, and to accept those who are at a higher level of understanding with humbleness in order to receive new information.
Okay, so with that, we hope you understand this area of this part of the chapter, which can be somewhat confusing when you first read it. If this helps you understand, please let us know. And what are our websites?
So all the past blogs are found on our website, verdiance.com. That's V as in Victor, E-R, D as in dog, I-A-N as in Nancy, C-E. And you can also visit our Facebook site, which is under the title of the book, The Augmentation of Man. And like us, and leave us a comment or leave us a question that we can address in a future video. We can answer it that way for others to be able to hear.
Yeah,
also.
So we can get on Twitter or Facebook.
Twitter is at Verdiance, just like website.
Okay.
So.
And get on, read the blog, and we're going to put together some kind of question and answer we're working on right now that some of you can ask questions directly, but it's going to be a little while before we get that, but we will get it within probably the next couple months.
So what Ken's talking about is we've recently subscribed to Zoom, and so it's a live video where you can engage in that and send us your questions or ask us during this live recording, and then they can be answered on the spot. So that's in the making.
With that, we hope you continue your upward growth in learning and understanding, and communicate with us when you can.
And remember that inner reflection of all past events, it's not about judgment, and it's not about being a victim, because those two avenues are not going to allow you to move forward. So just look at it from strictly a learning point.
Okay, with that, have a great week, and we'll talk to you probably in a week or two.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye now.